Hello English 10, this is Ms. Long, and this is the beginning of Unit 8. It's hard to believe there are 8 units in the year. We're on the very last unit. Summer vacation is on the horizon, but we're not done yet. So I want to take a few minutes to kind of explain the rationale for the unit, kind of how I came up with what I came up with, and then walk you through what you need to do in this first session of Unit 8. As I was looking at the curriculum, I was trying to decide what fiction texts I would use for the purposes that the curriculum outlined. And I was kind of torn. There are a lot of classic books that I have taught previously that I really enjoy teaching. And I also recognize that increasingly English classrooms are moving toward contemporary texts, young adult literature. And I just started thinking, how do you decide? Because I see value in both. And how do I decide which to do? And so I decided to pass the question on to you. What makes a book important? What makes a book endure in recognition over years, over decades, over centuries, if you're talking Shakespeare or many other British writers, American writers? What makes a book important? There are, according to Google, an estimated 129 million books in existence. We've got limited time. We've got limited energy to devote to this. How do you decide which books are worthy of our attention? So that's the focus of this first session as you head into reading a book of your choice that you consider important. And your final product for this unit is going to be to write a blog where you share your own convictions about why your book is important and what makes it important. So with that, let me walk you through our first session of Unit 8. We'll begin with a little bit of discussion on this topic of what makes something important. What are the important books, and what are some of the perspectives people have? And I'll ask you to read one or more of these blogs. They're kind of mentor texts themselves, and to get an idea of how a blog works and what the perspectives are around this. What are important books? And then you'll participate in a discussion on that topic. And that'll be your first assignment for this session. Then you'll go and you'll make your book choice if you haven't already. I put this information out earlier in the week so that you could kind of get a head start on it. And you'll make your book choice from among many different choices that pertain to what you might call universal ideas. I think the fancy literary way of saying this would be theme, but there are persistent concerns in societies present and societies past. These things aren't going away. And so I believe that makes these books more relevant and would like to offer you these choices. If you find something that fits one of these themes and you'd like to read that, go ahead and propose it to me. It might work out. I've already had one student do that, so let me know if something comes up. Once you get your book, I would like for you to find a system for tracking vocabulary words and quotations as you read. I know that sometimes the charts where you write dialectical journals and you copy your quotations aren't always a favorite exercise, and yet it is necessary. You hopefully learned in the last 3 units that if you want to prove a point, you have to have evidence. And in this case, the evidence is going to be the quotations from your book. There are some relatively painless ways to do that, and so I would encourage you to explore the wonders of Post-it notes and electronic notation. But as you do read your book, and you'll read about a quarter of your book each session, I would like for you to have some way of tracking those things. One of your assignments is going to be to look at vocabulary words through a class wiki that we will put together. Basically a Wiktionary, a dictionary that everyone contributes to with useful vocabulary words that you're encountering. Because I figure if one student doesn't know them, there's a good chance that somebody else doesn't know these words, and collectively we can build a list of words that are suitable for high school students to be learning. Another assignment this week is to focus in your journal on the setting of the book. What is it exactly in detail? This is kind of recalling some of the stuff from short stories. And what's your reaction to it? Would you like to be in that setting? Would you like to take a time machine and go visit it? That's really what books are. So just like to journal about that. And then in your last assignment for the week, I would like for you to submit some quotations that you have found that show connections. Connections to text, connections to self, connections to our world. And you might pick out quotations and say this is important because it contains a universal idea, or it might be important because it shows us the author's background, something about the historical period that we can never venture into unless it's like written in the current day. So you're going to be collecting some quotations and explaining why those quotations are important. And so this will be the chart that you use and submit for your final assignment. So that's basically the overview. We will continue for 4 weeks. You'll have your book read by the end of the 4 weeks, and you will share with your classmates a blog about why that book is important. So be thinking about that as you start our first discussion, and be thinking about that throughout our unit as you enjoy a little bit of fiction, a little bit of a diversion from the world of databases and debates. So I look forward to this unit with you, and if you have any questions, please be in touch. And I look forward to hearing with what you're going to do with this unit. So have a great week.